Evening YouTube, Atheist Chef here. This video is going to be a reply to a video done by a YouTube Christian or YouTube theist, StateofDaniel. I'll link his channel down below. He's most commonly known for going back and forth with Jacqueline Glenn. And if you don't know who Jacqueline Glenn is, just imagine a hot female atheist that has the popularity of Amazing Atheist and Cult of Dusty. And is just about as deep, at least in what they're covering their topics. Anyways, so here I was playing South Park Stick of Truth. By the way, if you love South Park, go buy the fucking game. Really good, really enjoyable. Got about 10-15 hours worth of gameplay, besides, anyways. Yeah, sorry, I just had to brag, because I've been playing this. I played it for like all day yesterday. Anyways, so this video is covering evolution, well, not really evolution, how evolution brings about morality, and of course, well, you'll see how Daniel handles this.
Problem with using evolution as a source of morality is that it eliminates objective morality.
The problem with using the Big Bang Theory as the foundation of the beginning of the observable universe is that it leaves out creationism. The thing is, objective morality hasn't proven itself, and nor has it even remained consistent with what the Bible actually says and how God acts. And once again, being as a Christian, you're making an assertion, tacking on a morality on a being that we haven't even shown exists. So until you get rid of a couple of those problems, it's not even really on the table.
By definition, evolution is something that's always changing.
Actually, evolution fits more along the lines of a change of species over time, either by random genetic mutations or mutations that come of the species that are more fit to survive their environment. It's the species that change. Evolution isn't the one changing.
So, as a byproduct of evolution, morality would also change as well.
The things that we have agreed upon that are more moral than others have been pretty consistent, through the beginning of, intelligent man or more intelligent man, where morality first began for us, or the small, minute traces of it started to form. At this point, it seems like we have a really good beat on it, and so what if things changed? It would maybe be a minor thing. But it's not like all of a sudden, we're like, yep, killing's moral. Yeah, rape is moral. Every situation. Well, even if something were to change to our brain chemistry, let's just say something happened, and we no longer thought with our emotions. We were just kind of like Asperger's. It was all about rationale and logic. But those things wouldn't, all of a sudden make rape okay, because we could still use reason and logic to realize, yeah, that'd probably not be a good thing for the society or whatever. I can't imagine that it's going to change to the point of, to this weird difference that would be so dramatic from what it is now and what it's been for the past, how many how humans have been around, thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, whatever, from whenever morality existed or began to exist. So this argument's just kind of, I don't know, that's kind of like slippery slope of thousands of years down the road, or I don't know. At least it's still, I guess you'd call it a slippery slope.
But there are objective truths that we all believe, such as lying is wrong, stealing is wrong, murder is wrong. Those were morals that were accepted yesterday, and they'll be accepted tomorrow.
The thing is, Daniel, those aren't objective truths. Those are either universal or intersubjective truths. They're truths that last or exist through about 95-98% or the majority of the population, but they're not always true. There are some cases and some civilizations that found things like murder to be perfectly acceptable, such as in the older Eskimo tribes. If they had one too many kids and the family was going to starve because there's no way that they could feed the new baby and the kids, they would kill the baby.
Using evolution as a source of morality actually eliminates objective morality, because you're saying that morals are always going to be changing. In fact, with such an open door, you could potentially make the argument that rape would one day be okay. If morals are just the byproduct of what we as a species need to survive, let's say there were an evolutionary pressure such as a nuclear holocaust, and raping women was the best way to ensure the human survival. We were on the verge of extinction, and we needed to find a way to ensure that our genes were passed on to the next generation. So if we're using evolution and the need to survive as a source of morality, you're saying that today rape is wrong, but tomorrow, pending a nuclear holocaust, it could potentially be okay.
It's not as if a nuclear holocaust is going to happen and then everyone in the world is going to be like, you know what? Rape is going to work right now. That's the new moral thing to do. It's more moral to rape these women, you know, because it's not like these women are going to want to have sex anyways. It's not like every instance of a woman having sex after that point is going to be a rape. Have you ever seen all the not Holocaust or like end of the world Armageddon thing? People are still surviving because, well, you know, they have sex. I mean, we don't even have to go to nuclear holocaust or anything like that. We can just go to, you know, the beginning of the creation story. We can go to Noah's flood. You know, they were the only ones left, but nobody raped them. They had sex. Now, technically, Sodom and Gomorrah, that story, that was the woman raping their dad. But, you know, that's something else altogether. But the fact is, it's a case-by-case basis. We're never going to go, yeah, rape is great. That's the new thing. We want to survive, so let's start raping the women.
Now, if you think that rape is wrong no matter what, even if it was the best chance for the human species to survive, then chances are that you believe in objective morality. Now, I know there are going to be some people out there who are going to try to argue and say, well, morality does change. Slavery was okay in the 1800s, but it's not okay today. My response to that is that the underlying morality has always remained constant. Society's views of morality might change, but there are certain truths that are always there.
If that underlying morality, which I'm assuming you mean is going to be God's morality, what it's in his nature to be, why would he be so inconsistent? Why would he tell people to not kill, that is, do not kill, and it's his perfect objective moral code, but then kill people, and then tell people to kill people, and then tell people to rape and tell people to, you know, take, you know, slaves, and then, you know, why would he send 42 bears, or kill 2 bears to kill 42 youths because they rejected the prophet Elisha, but then when Jesus sends out the disciples and he instructed them if they did, you know, get rejected, then just to wipe their sandals clean and leave the town. You know, why didn't he kill the bears then? You know, was it more moral for God to tell them to wipe their feet then, but not moral that, you know, before, you know, how can you sit there and say that objective morality, that underlying layer of morality, supposedly being God, and then he does things that are and are not moral? You know, even if he's an objective being, his morality is completely subjective and definitely on a case-by-case basis. And it's funny is that's exactly what we're arguing for, huh? You know, an intersubjective, maybe universal morality, that where most people agree with that. That's odd. How it seems how God seems to be that way too. But yet you still want to call it objective.
For instance, let's say the Nazis had won World War II and had brainwashed the world into thinking that the Holocaust was okay. The Holocaust would still be wrong no matter what society thinks of it. And the reason we can say the Holocaust is wrong no matter what the Nazis or anyone else thought of it is because objective morality exists.
What a strange and odd world it would be if we all thought that the Holocaust was okay and that it was morally justified. You know, somehow we were tricked into believing that, or, you know, we found it moral. But we don't even need Hitler's Holocaust to try to see the twisted, immoral justification of just mass murder. I mean, after all, we have the Bible, right? I mean, God kills the entire earth, short of 8 people. He sends all kinds of plagues to the Egyptian Empire and kills all sorts of people and animals and things. And the Israelites go around killing people, and God specifically instructs to rape them and steal the kids and kill all the boys and, all of these things. But if you ask a Christian that, they say, well, no, God was freeing the slaves. He was freeing the Jews from the slavery from Egypt, and God was killing the earth because they were not doing what he had said. And God was moving with the Israelites to give them what he had promised them. All justifications. So let me ask you Christians that are watching this a question. What is the difference between Hitler killing all sorts of people and famous people of the Bible? Samson killed 30,000 people, with a suicide pact from God, knocking the building down. Moses killed 10,000 people. Who was the guy that prayed to Baal? The one the soldiers were praying to Baal, and the other one praying to God, and God lit the fire, and then he killed all of them. Why are they more moral than Hitler? Why do you justify what these guys did, but think Hitler's, killings were so much worse, much less justified? What kind of objective morality is the Bible teaching there or showing there?
In fact, I think it's kind of silly to say that nature is a source of morality. Nature doesn't recognize our moral compass. If you look at the animal kingdom in nature, for instance, there's a lot of harm that you see being done. We're the only creatures that stop to ponder whether anything is right or wrong. You never see a pride of lions congregating to figure out if there's a more humane way that they can kill their prey.
That would be because what they're doing is not immoral. It is amoral. They do not have the higher faculties that we do to be able to consider what actions are moral or immoral. They are simply trying to survive and feed their family. Now, what they're doing is amoral because they're not considering anything. So, nature is not really our foundation for morality.
You can't not believe in God, yet still believe in fixed moral truths.
Then, my friend, I encourage you to talk to Matt Dillahunty and Sam Harris, particularly Matt Dillahunty. He is pioneering the idea of an objective morality. And though personally I disagree with it, I think it's more of an interest-objective morality, but he apparently has a really good argument for it. So you can, actually. Just talk to Matt Dillahunty.
Even Richard Dawkins writes, "The universe that we observe has precisely the properties we should expect if there is, at bottom, no design, no purpose, for example, no God, no evil, no good, nothing but pitiless indifference. It's pretty hard to defend the absolutist morals on ground other than religious ones."
As far as Dawkins is concerned, he is a fantastic writer, an amazing evolutionary biologist, and he's spearheading the atheist movement. But a philosopher he is not. Most atheists, after they've been around for a while, they don't really turn to Dawkins for philosophical issues. It's just the same as they don't go to Sam Harris and Daniel Dennett for biology. So yes, you can quote Richard Dawkins, but really, you gotta try some other people. Again, I really highly recommend people like Daniel Dennett or Sam Harris if you really want to get into those kind of issues. So here's a brief summation of what we've learned today. We've learned that objective morality has not proven itself. It's just simply asserted that it exists, and we have no real reason to believe it by tacking itself onto a being that we're not certain it exists. And using the drive to be objectively moral, like God, is the underlying foundation that proves that that underlying foundation exists. It's a little circular. We've also learned that God is completely subjective. He is completely inconsistent with the moral code that he has put down in his Bible, or at least that's how he's portrayed in his Bible. And if you believe that the Bible is 100% true, then you have to believe that, he tells people to not kill, and then he kills and tells people to kill. He is not he is not an objective standard. The act of simply just following blindly of what the Bible says or what you think that God says is it's not even a moral act. It's an amoral act as well, because you're not considering it. You're just doing it just because you're told to do it. That's not exactly being a moral agent. So is there an objective morality? Matt Dillahunty and company seem to think so, and I kind of disagree on different levels. To me, it just makes more sense for it to be more intersubjective, where there's going to be people that obviously believe certain things, and there may be situations where rape could be okay. Murder could be okay. And for those of you like, rape, how could rape ever be okay? Well, here's a little quick example. Imagine you're an undercover cop, and you're working a sex prostitution ring, and you're inside, and then at one point, to keep your cover, you have to rape this woman because they don't believe you for some reason or another. I think you even saw this on a special SVU Law and Order episode or something like that. And so you have to rape this woman. Because either one, it saves her life because you're probably not going to be like so violent or whatever, and then you have to keep your cover. You're raping this woman, keeps your identity safe, and helps you bring down a prostitution ring. Right there, that would be the more moral act. Something like that. So killing, murder, lying, there are all kinds of situations, not even huge ones, but small ones. Well, it's still kind of huge, but you can come up with all kinds of reasons to justify a certain act. So no, there is no, I don't believe there's an objective morality, and if there is an objective morality, it sure as hell doesn't come from the Bible or God. So that's it. I am finished. I can go back to playing South Park Stick of Truth. I am so loving this game. So I apologize if this work is just a little bit shoddy, if the editing's a little bit off, or I left some points. I just want to get back to playing this game, but I wanted to make a video because, in a few days, Titanfall is coming out, and I may veg out for a while on that as well, so I want to at least have one this week because I got like 3 ideas in my head that I need to put down, and I'm not doing it. Anyways, I'm talking a lot. Time to go to bed. This is the Atheist Chef signing off. Peace!